All right, it's time to dig back in to Rob Liefeld's classic Youngblood series. It's time for the latest installment of Youngblood and Image in the 90s. And today we're talking about Youngblood number 5. Youngblood number 5 is a half of a comic. It's 14 pages with artwork by Chap Yap. It is written by Rob Liefeld, but the script and the editing is done by Eric Stevenson. I believe this is the first time Eric Stevenson was working on Youngblood. We have Norm Rappand on the inking and Paul Mounts on the lettering. Kurt Hathaway on the lettering, Paul Mounts on the coloring. This was a half of an issue. It was the flip book along with Brigade number 4, and it just kind of wraps up the story that we've been talking about for the last several weeks. So let's get into it. First of all, not having Rob Liefeld do the artwork was disappointing because I really feel like Rob Liefeld's work was starting to really solidify over the courses of issues 2, 3, and especially 4 of Youngblood. So we got Chap Yap, and I'm sure he's working on Rob Liefeld layouts or whatnot, but it's not that bad. The coloring doesn't quite work for me, but the scripting is better. Eric Stevenson's got a better kind of line, like eye or ear for dialogue, one can say. And he does this great kind of bit where Shaft is narrating the story, so we get it from his perspective. But it does very quickly and in very big, bold splash pages wrap up the story that feels almost like it had barely gotten started. But when we last left what was going on, Darkthorn had shown up and he has Bedrock under his control. My bad, he's still Bedrock, I believe, at this time. So now Youngblood and some of the more recently revitalized members of the Berserkers and the Youngblood away team, now they're awake. They now have to go up against Darkthorn and a controlled Bedrock. So Shaft puts together his plan. He is being established as the leader. He sends one of the Berserkers, who he doesn't know much about, but they are on his side. The Berserkers are led by Kirby, but he sends this guy out, and I can't remember his name. I think it's Wildmane or something like that. Sends him after Bedrock and just kind of has Brahma and this dude his name is just Gray. He comes in. They knock the hell out of Bedrock. So, like, all that build-up, Bedrock gets taken out. Just a couple of punches, but then Darkthorn is there, and he has taken out Prophet. Now, all Darkthorn wants is Prophet, right? So he's after him. He's getting the upper hand, but then Shaft gets the rest of Youngblood and some of the Berserkers to just go ham on Darkthorn now that Bedrock's been taken out of the picture. Then we get Sentinel coming in. He's trying to do his little thing, and everybody is having little to no effect against Darkthorn. They are getting their asses kicked. In fact, if Prophet can't make it, then nobody can. Maybe Photon, who finally gets some action in a page of Youngblood. He goes after Darkthorn. Nothing happens. Like, Darkthorn just blows him away. Then Sci-Fire, who has a power dampener on his neck, because Sci-Fire's the dude in issue number 1 who's a little unhinged, and when the away team was off trying to deal with the situation in the Middle East, he popped the head using his telekinetic abilities, popped the head of Hassan Hussein. Hassan Hussein is his name. So he's a little psychotic, and he's like, yo, take this power inhibitor off. I'm the only one that's going to be able to stop him. And Riptide and Vogue are kind of like, you know what? Maybe he's right. Meanwhile, Kirby tries to jump in, tries to help out. Darkthorn is just killing everybody. It's just murking them, right? But then here comes Sci-Fire, and his abilities do cause Darkthorn a lot of pain, but it does kind of become almost a stalemate. But Darkthorn realizes that Sci-Fire is going to eventually get the upper hand, so he disappears back through the portal to his own world. Because they had this portal open, right? They were, unleashing all these villains. They were coming out specifically to get Prophet. The Berserkers come from that world too. So he leaves, and the Berserkers are like, well, we got to go after him. And Kirby's like, you know what, though? I feel like Prophet is familiar to me. I don't understand the reason. I'm going to stay here and solve this. Y'all go in there and continue the fight against Darkthorn. So Cross, who is now the de facto leader of the Berserkers, the rest of the Berserkers, they go off. They leave Kirby there. Him and Prophet are going to now go off, I guess, into the Prophet book to do their thing. I just recently got every issue of that, so I'm pumped. Die Hard does make it through. He was abandoned on the other side of the portal, but before it closes, he does make it through, so he's okay. Bedrock's okay, and then Prophet and Kirby, they're setting up the Prophet book right there. Kirby and him, they feel familiar with each other, so there's a hinted past that neither of them remember. They're, I'm sure, going to develop that in that series, right? And then at the very end, Bedrock's just like, well, who's going to clean up the mess? And that's how the Youngblood miniseries wrapped up. So like I said, this is a flip book with Brigade number 4. So it's more a Brigade number 4 that happened to have Youngblood number 5 attached to it. Now, Rob had been troubled by lateness in the launch of Youngblood and other projects at the beginning of Image. Youngblood did not come out the way they wanted it to. They wanted a 4-issue miniseries, and at 4, the story was too big to wrap up, so they wrapped it up here. It was planned to be 10 pages. It wound up being 14. So it is a little unsettling that the final chapter was just this truncated flip book side of a Brigade number 4. Aside from that, though, it's a decent enough conclusion. I just wish it had the time to actually conclude in a proper way. This feels very rushed. Chap Yap's artwork is pretty solid. The inking works. The colors don't quite work for me. A lot of orange, green, and brown that just kind of muddies it up. That is something that you see in a lot of Paul Mount's work. He colors a lot of, he used to color a lot of Brian Hitch stuff. And I think he perfects it, but in this day, they were still trying to figure out this digital coloring, this paper, and each issue of Youngblood feels like it's different paper stock, a different color quality. Lots of big moments here. It is a very quick wrap-up, but it still has some dynamic artwork at times. But overall, it does just fall a little bit flat. So Youngblood started off really raw and weak on issue number 1, and it solidly gets better from 2 to 3 to 4, and then to end like this just kind of is a bit unfortunate. However, I am really pumped to check out issue number 6, because that's where Rob came back with a rededicated focus on the book. They have more of the team in place now. You got Rob doing the plotting and the inking. You got Eric Stevenson doing the scripting, Kurt Hathaway doing the lettering. I think they bring somebody else in to do the coloring. Yes, they bring in, what's his name? He was one of the best digital colorists at the time. I cannot remember his name. Y'all knew who I'm talking about. But the colors start popping. The line work gets even better. Danny Mickey starts inking, but Liefeld's inking his faces. So I think we're about to turn the corner here. But Youngblood, overall, this has been a fun experience. Youngblood number 1 is rough. But 2, 3, and 4, and then even this brief finale, they work for me. I'm really excited about going and diving into that Prophet book, especially the Stephen Platt stuff. So I don't know. I really liked it. Overall, I'd give the wrap-up like a 3 you digs, because it needed a little bit more space, a little bit more room to breathe. But as truncated as it is, it's still doable, still serviceable. I liked it. So there you go. And this has been Image in the 90s.